Hello and welcome to the business interview on France 24. French President Nicolas Sarkozy and German Chancellor Angela Merkel said they were convinced that Greece's future lay in the Eurozone. Greek Prime Minister George Papandreou vowed to stick to the harsh austerity measures needed for an EU bailout. Athens is struggling to lower its budget deficit and restore confidence. The European debt crisis is spreading, affecting markets around the world. Joining me here today, Harry Sahini, CEO of DEPA, the Greek public gas corporation, which imports gas and distributes it to electricity producers and industrial users. Thank you very much for being with us. First of all, as the CEO of a major Greek state-owned company, what's your take on the Greek crisis?
I think it is a significant crisis. I think it's a crisis that affects actually all of Europe. But I think that Greeks are committed to do everything that they can to get out of it. And I think it's great that we have the support of people like President Sarkozy and Angela Merkel.
We know that Greece is unable to pay back all of its debt. Who's responsible of the situation, according to you?
I don't think you can pinpoint anybody here. I think you have to look at the crisis, even that started in the United States back in 2008. You have to look at the banks and how they are trying to protect their interests, and you have to look at the politicians that are trying to get re-elected across all of Europe. So I think everyone bears a little bit of responsibility. The question is not who has the responsibility. The question is what exactly are we going to do to get out of this crisis that is actually a European crisis, not just a Greek crisis.
And what's your answer to that? Is to Greece to actually stick on these austerity measures?
Austerity measures are always tough, but this is the selected route and from our partners in Europe and the IMF, and we're going to try our best to stick to those measures, and we hope and we believe that they're going to work.
What do you think of some of the Europeans who actually said that they shouldn't pay for the Greek because the Greek cheated for all these years and misbehaved?
Look, there's the phrase that we talk about and the moral hazard, and we shouldn't help Greece because of the moral hazard. But I think if Europe doesn't stick together, doesn't get together, then we're going to be faced with moral bankruptcy, and I think that is a much more serious thing for Europe.
Yeah, the EU and the IMF are putting pressure on Greece. They say Athens is not implementing austerity measures quickly enough. They call on Greece to introduce fiscal reforms. Why is it so difficult to introduce fiscal reforms in Greece?
Look, it's hard to do fiscal reforms anywhere, but Greece is trying its hardest to do that, and I think the citizens will respond as much as they can, and so we will try to implement these measures and try for the best.
And Greece is an integral part of the Eurozone, said Nicolas Sarkozy and Angela Merkel in a teleconference to try to calm markets. Do you think that Greece should stay in the Eurozone even if it has to pay a very high price?
I think it is important not just for Greece to stay in the Eurozone. I think it is important for Europe, because I think if you have a country coming out of the Eurozone, I think this will create a significant crisis in Europe that will then spread to the rest of the world. So I think it is important to ensure the unity at this stage and try to figure out what is the best that we can do to achieve that.
But if Greece could actually devaluate, maybe the austerity measures shouldn't be as harsh as they are.
I think it's going to be even harder.
You think it's not an option for you?
I don't think it's an option for anybody.
Greece would never ask to leave the Eurozone, you think?
I'm not the one who would make that decision, but that is not the plan.
You are the CEO of a state-owned company which imports gas and distributes it to electricity producers and industrial users. Your company, as well as many others, is going to be privatized. What do you think of the privatizations program in Greece?
I think that it will accelerate. I think we have to accelerate it. I think that DEPA is one of the first companies that will be privatized, and we're ready for that. And I'm actually quite pleased because even the financial results of DEPA are very good. Here you are in a country where the market's liberalized, in a country where there's a significant crisis, and yet our volumes of gas that we're selling for the first 6 months of the year were up 23%, and our EBITDA was up about about 86%. So the company is doing great, and not only is it doing great with its day-to-day business, but there are significant plans to expand in the region all the way to Italy and in all of southeastern Europe, and double the quantities of gas that it sells regionally.
Do you have some offers?
There are a lot of people that are interested that we have talked to, but when the official process starts, hopefully within October, I think you will see certainly offers materialize. And there are some companies that have publicly expressed their interest in the company.
We say that China is very interested in many businesses in Greece. What do you think about that?
China is a very good investor, and they know what exactly they need and what they don't need. I think that our company, which is basically a midstreamer of gas, basically takes gas, sells it as a wholesaler, and then distributes it further on. I don't think that is exactly what China may be looking into, but if the Chinese have a different opinion of that, we'll be more than happy to count them among the interested companies for DEPA.
What do you think privatizations would trigger within the Greek economy? Do you think actually that the prices of energy might go up?
No, I don't think so, and I think this is a little bit irrelevant from privatizations. I think the price of energy has to do with the diversity of your supplies, and this is something that DEPA itself is trying to help with, and not just for Greece, but for the region in general. For example, what we're trying to do is we're trying to expand the import of gas from the Caspian. We're already getting gas through Turkey, but we want to expand that from the Caspian. We're already getting gas from Russia, and also getting gas through an LNG terminal that we have in Greece. So there are already several sources. But when we build ITGI, which is a pipeline also that connects Greece to Italy, and its purpose is to bring Caspian gas to Italy and beyond Italy to France, I think that will also help towards the security of supply, because in case of another disruption, it could bring gas from North Africa through Italy back to Greece and Southeastern Europe.
And this should be ready in 2012, 2013?
A part of the ITGI system is going to be ready by 2014, and that part is an interconnector that actually brings gas to Southeastern Europe, to Bulgaria, Romania, Hungary, and beyond. The pipeline between Greece and Italy will be ready around 2017, 2018, because that is actually when the gas that is going to be available from the Shah Deniz fields, Shah Deniz 2 fields in Azerbaijan, is going to be available. And that's quite important because you have, especially for France, it's quite important because you have
France is interested.
A French,
Italy as well.
Well, you have a French company, Total, that participates in the Shah Deniz consortium, and then the gas that's going to Italy, this pipeline that I'm talking about, we're building it with Edison, which is a company that is going to be owned by EDF, the French company. And finally, Gaz de France has also expressed an interest in buying gas in Italy. So I think this pipeline is really perfect for French interests.
And what would change actually if it's not state-owned anymore, if it's privatized?
I don't think much would be changed. I think there are opportunities in the region. I think DEPA has already developed a very succinct and very interesting strategy to expand its operations and double its revenues and its quantities that it sells in the region. So I think it's a great opportunity for any company to come in, adopt that strategy, and actually add to it. And I think that if there are some synergies, I think that strategy could even produce even better results. Yes,
so actually you're in favor of this company to be privatized, and you don't think there will be an impact on the price for the population, on the energy price?
No, not at all. I think more. I think if the group that comes in for the privatization follows the strategy. The strategy is all about creating a hub of gas pipelines and gas import facilities in Greece that would help actually lower the prices, not just in Greece, but in all of the southeastern European region. And I think that is something that would be very important for Europe.
Do you think it would trigger more deregulation within the energy market?
It is the gas side of the energy market is fully deregulated, so
don't think it would have an impact. Why is it so hard to actually privatize companies? It's been, the IMF and the EU have been saying that it was too slow.
Regardless of what country you're trying to privatize a company, it is a process. It takes time. You have to do it right. And I don't think that, especially now, DEPA has been working on preparing itself for privatization for some time, and now we're ready. And now I think it's going to move very quickly.
Well, thank you so much, Harry Sahinis, and thanks to you to watch the business interview and stay with us on France 24.